Welcome to episode 185 of the weekly Shared Security Show. And joining me is someone who probably knows more about Star Wars than you do, co-host Kevin Johnson.
Now that's a challenge. All of a sudden I have people tweeting me.
I know.
So, who is Mara Jade? She's awesome, and she should be canon. And
that's why I did that. I hope there's someone says, wait a minute, I think I know more about Star Wars than Kevin.
Yeah, totally. The minute you say you know more, and I want to be very clear, I did not claim I know more about Star Wars than you do.
Yes, I did. Did you, speaking of Star Wars, did you see the announcement about the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser?
No, what is
Star
that?
Wars Hotel?
I've never heard of such a thing. Yeah. I haven't already started working on convincing my wife for us to sign up and go immediately.
Yeah.
And yes. And I understand that a lot of people think the price is too high. Good. That means there'll be availability for me.
$4,800 for two guests.
Worth every penny. Worth every penny.
I wonder if you'll have a season pass just for that.
I see nothing wrong with this.
No.
Yeah, we were talking about it in the office. I want to go so bad. I've wanted to go since they announced it. And after they announced it, I'm like, yeah, they have not convinced me I was wrong.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to do, if you do get to go, we'll have to do an episode where you tell us all about it.
I think this is, I have a better idea.
Yeah.
Why don't we have a sponsor send you and I?
Oh, this is great.
See?
I love where you're going with this.
Yeah. And then we have a special episode from the galaxy.
Oh, recorded from the Star Wars Hotel.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Done. Yeah.
That would be cool. So, so this week, this was Black Hat DEF CON Security Summer Camp, as we
Hacker Summer Camp,
as we like to call it. This year, I opted for the virtual option of Black Hat, so I attended some of the talks the last couple days virtually.
Nice.
Which I mean, a lot of it is pre-recorded, and
yeah. How did it go? Is it? I want to be very clear. I didn't opt for the virtual one. Yeah. Because I knew we're prepping for our all hands next week, and I knew I would be completely swamped time-wise. So
right. Yeah, it was good. There's limitations to the virtual experience with any conference, but I thought they did a good job with the interface and reminders to attend a talk. Throughout the day, you could create yourself an agenda. So that was really nice. I also liked how you could chat with a lot of the speakers live after the pre-recorded presentations. So, that was a nice bonus, I think.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. And speaking of actually one of the talks that I watched, one of the keynotes on Thursday was CISA director Jen Easterly. But we've talked about CISA in the past. Yep. I think back when they kind of made news after Trump fired the old director.
Who should not have been.
Right, exactly.
Fired.
That's right. So Biden had appointed Jen Easterly. I really thought that she comes across as a lot more, personable, I guess, from, for somebody that's a Fed. And I mean that in the nicest terms, of course. Because, government officials sometimes can be a little stuffy and, maybe not in tune with the hacker or the security community. And, I felt that she was very, she was talking about how she solves puzzles and is always loved like Rubik's Cubes growing up. And, she was very relatable, but she had announced this new, they're calling it the JCDC, which is the Joint Cyber Defense Collaborative, which is going to be working with large companies like Google, Microsoft, Verizon, and so on.
Anybody else bothered by the fact that they use the ACDC logo?
I instantly thought trademark dispute.
No, and the trademark dispute, I immediately said, is this a subtle way to say dirty deeds done dirt cheap?
Yes. Well, they had ACDC music playing in the background too when she announced this on the Black Hat video that she did. So, there was definitely some interesting thoughts. I get it. They're trying to jazz it up a bit.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. So
I don't know. I think it's great we have a new CISA director for some level of great. The relatability, I didn't watch the talk, so I can't answer that, but I will say that tells me that she has a great PR team. But I'm cynical about the whole idea.
Someone is at the office.
Someone's at your door, Kevin.
I don't have to get it. It's the office, and everything announces it. But I think that my biggest issue with this is that every single thing I read about what they're planning on doing, we already do.
Well, it made me think of InfraGard.
Well, yeah, InfraGard is one example. The ISACs is an example.
Yeah.
The government already has cyber defense plans that they work with the industry. And so I'm not saying that they're not doing something new. I'm saying they haven't shown me what the new thing is. And that concerns me. I'm also concerned with any quote that starts with, well, we passed this new law, you know my opinion of new laws, that gave them, quote, new authority. I don't mean to be rude, but the government shouldn't be getting new authority.
Now, what do we mean by that?
Yeah, they have enough damn authority, right? I feel like, and every headline, every article I read about this talked about the headline grabbing attacks that have been lately. I don't mean to be rude, but the fact whether or not the attack caused a headline should have no impact on whether we determine that we should respond to it. And the implication is, because there's big headlines, the government must do something. Can anybody say TSA? Because that was the government must do something. And look how well that has worked. I believe that the statistic, more TSA agents have been arrested while on duty for committing crimes while on duty than they have stopped people, is still a valid statistic.
That's
and
interesting.
I expect that we will see the same thing here. We'll see a bunch of press releases about the new attack. We got this Russian group. We have warrants for this Russian group or this Chinese group, or I don't know. We've got $740 billion earmarked to Defense Authorization Act, and we have a new group to spend it. And maybe I'm just bitter because Secure Ideas' name wasn't on the ACDC slide. Oh, I'm sorry, JCDC slide.
You're not big enough yet. Sorry.
I'm gaining weight, man. I can handle it. I can get bigger.
Gotta be as fat as Amazon and Google.
Yeah, I just always worry when we've got DHS, Justice Department, Cyber Command, NSA, FBI, and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence will be involved in the initiative. Talking about TSA, talking about September 11th, which we're about to hit, the 20th anniversary. Can you believe that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
They talked about pulling all these groups together back then. I mean, Cyber Command didn't exist, and all they're doing is announcing another, let's pull a whole bunch of groups together. And I don't know.
Because one of the challenges, I mean, you know this, in the government with all these different agencies, traditionally they don't talk to each other, and they have a hard time sharing intel with each other.
Even after they're told they have to share intel.
Yeah.
So creating another group to share intel through doesn't seem like the best. I don't know.
Well, I think it's a wait and see.
Yeah, it's definitely a wait and see. I don't have high expectations of this being worthwhile, and I absolutely have high expectations that the government will abuse it in some way. So, but I'm cynical and a jerk.
Are you looking for the very best products to protect your digital privacy? Well, Silent Pocket has everything you need with their patented product line of high-quality Faraday bags, backpacks, clutches, and wallets. Visit silentpocket.com today and receive 10% off your order by using discount code SHAREDSECURITY.
You want your organization to be secure and compliant, and to have a healthy culture. But your employees' lack of awareness makes you vulnerable to data theft, fraud, and compliance penalties. It's frustrating that the boring, static training content that's being used today has failed to improve employees' ability to defend against cyber attacks. At ClickArmor, we know that without using gamification, it's extremely hard to get staff to understand how to avoid threats. Our gamified simulations and challenges have provided a 50% average improvement in thousands of employees' ability to spot phishing threats. Go to clickarmor.ca/shared security to get your free gamified phishing assessment for up to 500 employees. You'll see quickly how gamified simulations can help your team be more resilient and compliant and help avoid costly ransomware and fraud incidents. Let ClickArmor help you go from being an underappreciated, stressed out fall guy to being an innovative leader who's the catalyst for greater productivity in your organization.
Would love your opinion on this. So this was some breaking news last week, since this is released on Monday. Apple plans on adding scanning software to iPhones, iPads, Mac computers, Apple Watches when iOS 15 comes out and macOS Monterey. So this new type of scanning is going to scan devices for through iMessage, I guess, for child sexual abuse material. And it's a collaboration between Apple and supposed child safety experts, with whom they don't name. But this is a little disturbing.
Can we go back to the last story where we talked about the abuse of power?
Yeah, I mean, we all agree that child abuse and exploitation of children needs to be stopped, right?
Let me be very clear. We don't all agree, but the people who don't agree are scum.
Yes. Well, the criminals don't agree, of course.
Right. If you're abusing children, if you're exploiting children, I personally believe that there is a very, very special place for you, and it's not a good one.
Right.
Having said that, I feel like every single time I hear a large organization or a government agency or a police department say, we're doing this to protect the children, I immediately start looking for what else they're doing. Because we have to protect the kids. Don't you understand? Yeah, because it's a knee-jerk. Look, I got 2 kids. I found out I have a third. But right, like if you were to, I would kill you. Like, just, and I know this is recorded. I'm okay with that, right? Like, my goodness. The issue here, though, is everything I've read about this, and it's not out yet. So we're reading headlines, we're reading articles about it, right? We're hearing what Apple says, and of course, I love the cryptographers agree this is a sound practice. They're matching the hashes of known child sex and abuse materials with the hashes of your pictures, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but I remember why we don't use MD5 anymore, right? and I know people are like, but Kevin, they've solved no, they haven't. We still see collisions. We still see, and oh, by the way, you're like, okay, well, we're going to find this material. We're going to notify somebody, but don't worry, we're respecting your privacy. How? Because you have already told me that you're looking at my stuff, comparing it to something, and if you think it's bad, you're going to notify law enforcement.
Right.
You're not going to tell me you think you have, which I understand why. I get that, right? But no, God, no, don't do this. Because I will tell you right now, talking about abuse, talking about expansion, the minute Apple says, which by the way, they've already said, we have the ability to scan for hashes of any file, but don't worry, we're only going to look for things abusing kids. Or of materials that appear to be weapon-based. Or of materials that appear to be...
Where do you draw the line now?
Yeah. There's lots of cash in that picture. It had to be a crime.
Yeah.
Look, I live in Florida. There's a county just south of me that is being sued because they passed a law that the police are allowed to do pre-crime investigations. So they've analyzed stuff and figured out which people in this county have a high risk of breaking the law. And the police are literally, and I'm using that the correct definition, not the social media definition that Oxford agreed with, They're literally going to people's houses, knocking on the door and saying, "Hi, Tom, we believe that you're probably going to commit a crime. So we're just going to let you know we're stepping up patrols in your neighborhood. We're monitoring your social media and we're watching you. So don't do it." Now, I don't know about you, and I've been in this county that's doing it. It is kind of its own banana republic. But I believe the Constitution says that's illegal. This is the same thing. And the reason, and I know before somebody says, "But Kevin, you said First Amendment's only the government, not companies." I know, but this is in cooperation with law enforcement. Apple is saying to law enforcement, we can scan the materials of our users and we have the right to do that. And damn it, no, they don't. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just pisses me off.
I also see it from another angle too. So, we've talked a lot about the NSO group and Pegasus and, the access that someone could get to an Apple device if they were a target of, say, a nation state.
Excellent.
I see this as a way to frame somebody for something horrible that they did not commit to take a journalist out or some other target.
Absolutely.
Right? With this now built-in system, how could you disprove something that was on your device, right? Will automatically make you guilty. I'm just saying, like, there is some very dangerous things that could happen with this. And did you see the other part of this is that Apple will now warn you if you're receiving or sending a sexually explicit picture. Now, that doesn't match a database.
Right.
That is actually using, AI basically to determine by analyzing your photos, oh, this is probably sexually explicit.
And how well did that work for Tumblr?
Yeah.
Because I seem to remember on Tumblr a lot of pictures of chicken. And I use that as a purposeful example because I have literally sent my wife a picture of chicken in the Publix and said, which of these packages do you need me to buy?
Yeah. So you can't do that anymore, Kevin. It's going to be flagged sexually explicit.
Well, she's getting the wrong chicken.
Sexually explicit chicken. That's right.
And that's not code for something.
Yeah.
I mean it. She's getting the wrong chicken.
So this will be interesting to see how this all plays out, but a little concerning for sure. And our last story this week is about Amazon. We'll give you a whole $10 for your biometric data, your palm prints. I'm reminded of the movie with Chevy Chase. Was it Christmas Vacation? And the grandmother gives the kid, says, "I'll give you a whole, 25 cents." Wow, thanks, Grandma.
That's awesome.
It's kind of like, wow, $10 for all that data. Thanks, Amazon. Appreciate that.
I think I'm going to surprise you with my answer on this one.
Oh, you're for it.
No. I'm okay with this one. I am.
Okay.
Look, Amazon has an authentication system they've rolled out to their stores. They've decided, and I guarantee you, they probably will be rolling this out to other merchants and stuff like that. Right? That makes sense.
Sure.
And they're saying, hey, you know what? If you want, let's use this. Now, the whole giving you $10, I hate it when they do that. Weirds me out a little bit. Like, let me pay you to sign up for my new service. Never sounds good to me, right? Like, I feel like there's a dude in a white van offering $10 with a palm scanner. But, I don't know. I'll go the other way, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's been too many times where I've had to deal with my bank because somebody has gotten my credit card or done something like that. Having some strong form of authentication at the point of sale, I kind of like. And I don't like the idea of handing my driver's license to the person behind the counter who hates their job and doesn't get paid enough, right? And I don't like the idea of having every merchant scan my driver's license, because many of them do, right, to record the ID. Mm-hmm. So having a single organization or multiple organizations that we've already trusted with authentication and authorization and payment data, I don't really have a problem with them having a little bit more of my data. I totally believe, though, that I can argue. I can see the point of, well, yeah, but they're a commercial entity. They're going to abuse it. Or I get that. Look, I've been abused way too long. I don't know. I can see the negatives here, but I think this goes back to my statement. Most technologies, if not all technologies, can be abused.
Oh,
but in
absolutely.
the long run, they're better. We get more from them than we lose.
Yeah.
For the majority of technologies. And I would argue all technologies, except that all absolute statements are wrong. And, so yeah, I can see the negatives here, but I kind of like the idea.
Yeah, I'm more weirded out.
Yet.
Yeah. I'm more weirded out about the $10 thing.
Yeah, the $10 thing weirds me out. I will agree with that.
I think biometrics, in lieu of credit card data or using your credit card, is probably a lot safer going to the store.
Or can be a lot safer.
Can be.
For the people who want to be pedantic with us.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, you're not, it's nothing different than, when you go check out with Apple Pay. Yep. You're using your face as verification on your iPhone, and that, Apple is controlling that transaction.
And as we know, Apple has never and will never implement any feature that looks at all the graphic displays and images that you've got to notify the police.
Right.
Right? Because here's the thing. I just thought of this. This just popped into my head. Put the two things together. When is Apple going to say to the law enforcement, hey, don't worry about it. Give us hashes of all of the faces of your most wanted, and we'll scan the Face ID for them. Right?
Now you just gave them ideas, Kevin.
I'm not that smart. There's no way I'm the first person to think of that.
No,
and if I am...
No, you're definitely not.
I'm sorry, sure people on the most wanted... No, I'm not.
That's actually, I mean, they could definitely do that. I mean, Apple has access to everything on your device.
And it's a graphic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a still picture. I would hope it's more than that. I know it's more than that, but it's still, Dang, now I just freaked myself out. Glad I have an Android device, because Google would never do that.
Well, with that, a great place to end the podcast. So we could just, let's let our listeners just simmer on those thoughts a little bit.
Enjoy that. Simmer away.
Just freak out later. So, but Kevin, thank you again for joining us for this week's show. And thank all of you for listening and watching on YouTube. Much appreciated. And we will talk to you all next week. That's all for this week's show. Be sure to follow the Shared Security Show on Twitter and Instagram for the latest news and show updates. If you like this episode, please hit that like and subscribe button, and please subscribe to us on your favorite podcast listening app. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week for another episode of the Shared Security Show.